So I get home from school. I'm about 13 years old. I walk through the front door, and I see my mom just sitting there on the couch. She's hunched over, just looking down at the floor. And I can tell that she's been crying. And then I see this open envelope on her lap that says confidential on the front. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? Like, is that my report card? So, like, I'm running through all these different scenarios in my head, and then I realize, like, she hasn't even acknowledged me. It's like she can't even look at me. So then, after what seems like hours of silence, she finally, still looking down at the floor, hands me this envelope. And just as I'm about to open it, she says, I need to talk to you about something. It's about your father. So I'm relieved, right? But I can imagine what she has to talk to me about because my dad had passed away about 4 years earlier of cancer. And there are 3 things that I remembered about him. 1, he would tickle me every day when he came home from work. 2, he would read to me every single night before bed. And 3, his smile and his laugh would literally brighten up any room. So I had great memories of him, and I missed him a lot. So she says, your dad did not die of cancer. Your dad died of AIDS. So I didn't really know how to process that, but I didn't have time to because she continued, right? She says, and he was gay. So I didn't know quite what I thought about that, but I did know, right, that I'd been to church, and I'd heard the pastor say that being gay was a sin, and God created AIDS as a punishment for gay people. So in my 13-year-old brain, it was like my dad chose to be gay, therefore he chose to die, but he didn't have to. And so it was like in that moment, all the good memories and actually all the love that I had for him just vanished. And I certainly knew, right, that I didn't want to be gay like he was. But my biggest fear was that it was already too late. I mean, like I was in boys' chorus for 6 years. And like I would always get nervous and excited to see my friend Daryl, but never really for my friend Jessica. And my uncles, I mean, they were relentless. Once I was walking up the sidewalk and my uncles yelled out, I like that walk. Look at my niece. And my cousins, I mean, they were even worse. I mean, we would play these games of pickup basketball in the neighborhood, and just as soon as we would get around a group of guys, they would say something like, pass the ball, Rebecca. I mean, and countless other people would tell me how to walk, how to talk, how to eat, and even how to look more masculine. So all through my teenage years, I did focus on how I walked. So when my uncles would tell me to swing my arms when I walk, I would swing my arms. And when they'd say, not like that, walk straight, boy, I walk straight. You know, and I even focused on how I talk. So I was always trying to talk as deeply as possible. You know, and I even focused on which words I used, right? So I didn't use words like purse, or fabulous, or lavender. I mean, and it seemed to be working too, right? Because in college, I met this woman, Monica. She was beautiful, she was smart, she was funny. I mean, and I think the real reason why it worked, though, is because she didn't mind that I had a low sex drive, right? Like I would go over to her apartment after class, and she would open the door wearing this silk and lace negligee, and I mean, all I could say to that was, oh, baby. I was hoping that, you know, we could just chill tonight and eat some frozen yogurt. And she would respond in kind with something like, boy, you are so crazy. Okay. I mean, it was perfect. Until this one day when I went over to her apartment and I saw this spread of apartment brochures on her kitchen counter. And before I could ask what the fuck, she asked the question, which was, do you want to move in with me? And all I could think was, fuck no, I don't want to move in with you. If we live together, I'm gonna have to have sex with you. And so all this time, right, she is looking back at me process this, and then I see in her eyes that she is confused. She's a bit frustrated, but she has hope. And so after a few minutes pass, she leans in and she grabs me by my hand and she says, Ricky, you're gay, aren't you? And I think, well, no. I mean, I've been doing the walk, I've been doing the talk, I've been doing all this shit, right? Like, to be as masculine as I can, and actually, I am fucking exhausted. So yes, Monica, I tell her, yes, I think I'm gay. You know, and she pulls away, and I brace myself because, I mean, we've all seen Lifetime movies, and I know how this could go. But instead, she turns to me, and she looks at me in my eyes, and she says, Ricky, that's okay. We can make that work. And I'm like, what? No, we cannot make that work. Absolutely. Okay, let me think about this. We could get married, right? We could have a kid or two. We could buy a house, and everybody would be happy. Except for me, right? Like, I can't do this. I don't fucking want to do this. We can't do this. And you know, actually, I'm pretty sure that my dad thought about doing this, right? Before he actually did this. And he is no example that I want to follow, right? So I tell her, Monica, we cannot do this. And it was like in that moment, the clouds parted and the sun came out. I mean, it was a new day. And I have never loved my dad more than I did in that moment because it was he, oddly enough, who allowed me to choose to live the life that he never could. Thank you.